we did was secured, unsecured, non-convertible, convertible, redeemable, non-redeemable debentures. So we are done with it. The last topic is what are the advantages, disadvantages of debentures. Advantages and disadvantages. For the company will be what? So for the company, these are the long-term capital. They have no interference of debenture holder. So there is no, see, equity shareholder you have a voting right, but for debentures you don't have any voting right. So there is no interference. There is tax benefit. So if you pay the interest on debentures, you will get a tax benefit. There is lower rate of interest than the dividend. The dividend which you pay, it is higher than the interest. So interest is a fixed rate, so you will have, it is a lower rate, so that will be advantages for the company. If we compare with the disadvantages, so disadvantages for the company are it has fixed financial burden. So every year you have to pay the fixed financial burden. Next is danger to existence. See, if you are unable, these are some statutory dues. If you are unable to pay interest on debentures or repayment of the main amount, then you will have to winding up the business. They have, the debenture holders have the right to claim winding up of the business. So that becomes the disadvantages of the debentures. Next is for the companies. These are not useful for all the companies. See, companies who have a floating earnings. Some year it has a huge earnings, some years it doesn't have a huge earnings. When there is a floating earning, you cannot purchase, you cannot have debentures, because debentures every year you have to pay fixed interest. So if the company is not earning that much, it won't be able to pay the interest. For such companies, it will be not useful. It is not useful for all the companies. Next is for investors. If for investor, it is advantageous if there is a regular fixed income. If since there is a regular fixed income, it will be advantageous. For example, अगर हम लोग डिविडेंड देखने जाए, there is no fixed dividends. You cannot say कि every year I am going to get dividend. But in case of debentures, you are going to get fixed interest every year. Safety, you have a safety. There is some kind of it is more safer than compared to equity shareholders, because debentures are paid earlier, and plus they are the statutory dues, so company has to pay interest. Next is there are chances it will be converted into shares. So it can be converted into shares, equity share, so that can be advantages for you. And disadvantages are there is no control. You cannot, debenture holders cannot control the company. They don't have any voting rights. And next is no extra profit. Whatever interest is there, only that much you are going to get. You are not going to get over the above of equity share, over the above of the profit. You are only going to get whatever interest rate is there. So this was the total. Only this thing, if you go and study for your exams, it will be very helpful. I have just covered it into 40-41 minutes. So just go through it once. What we did was meaning of corporate finance. Second important is why we need corporate finance. Third, we did what CFO responsibility, Chief Financial Officer responsibility. Then the important thing was, new thing was capitalization. Under capitalization, you did two theories, cost theory and one was earning theory. In that you did over capitalization and under capitalization. And after that we did was what are equity shares, what are types of preference share and debenture shareholders. So these all things you need to do only in the first chapter of your portion, and this will cover your first module, theory module. Thank you everyone.